Welcome to Ping Trailer. My name is Matt Rollins. I'm one of the PGA Tour reps for Ping. Daniel Ludd's here with me. He's our technician here. Drives this trailer around from place to place. And I just want to show you some of the things that we do on a week-to-week basis. First of all, coming here, we've got all the drawers that have just like what kind of whatever we're pulling out. So I might be working with, for example, Angel Cabrera, Bubba Watson, whoever it may be. In fact, this is one that we had for Bubba Watson, and it's an I-15 left-handed head. So we'll come in here. I'll make sure that we get all the specs right for Bubba, and then I'll give them to Daniel, and Daniel will put it together for us. And after that's done, we'll go out and hit it and test it and see how it goes. Some of the things that you'll see in like all the other trailers that we have, that everybody else has as well. We have your standard Mitchell machine. You pop the head in, measure loft and lie. We do that as well. Some of our guys might have a different club other than a Ping club that we'll put on here to measure. We've got over here a putter loft and lie gauge. Most like all the other trailers as well, have some sort of putter loft and lie gauge. Ours is done in-house. It's CNC milled to our specs and our tolerances, and measures our clubs as well as other clubs. But you have some different heads that might not fit in your standard gauges, like our crazy, our new wacky in putter. So we have to make special adjustments for that. Over here we've got, just like everybody else has, this would be our blade to cut shafts on. See, if you turn it on, you hear the suction. That's internal suction. It'll suck up the graphite. And we'll just cut them there. We measure clubs up here, so wood goes in like that. It hits the sole plate. That's a little. Every manufacturer might measure the length of the club a little bit different, so you might get plus or minus a quarter here or there. This is how we measure it. Club face, or the sole plate hits this plate, and then we cut it to whatever number. So this is obviously already cut, but take the Sharpie, mark the shaft, then cut it on here, and get to work. An iron we'd put up here, and a putter, and measure it that way. And then this is a little unique. This is a digital loft and lie gauge. We use this to measure drivers mostly, but we can measure a 3-wood, we can measure a hybrid, and if we move this, it'll show you that it moves the loft. So we'll put a club in like so, tighten these down on the shaft, lower this so that it runs about to the middle of the club face, and then we will get this so that both this side and this side touch the face. Once we get that, we tighten these up a little bit so that the face can't move this way, and then we take this block off right here, and then we'll raise this back up so that it hits basically the middle part of the face, and we'll measure the loft of this club. So this gives us to the 100th degree. So that 3-wood is 13.85. Okay. Let's say just for fun that we're building this club, and this club was actually built for Kevin Sutherland, who's here at the BMW Championships this week. Let's say that we need that club to hit 15. We'll take it over here. We put it in this vise, and we grab whatever plate it is we need to grab. The club will go inside. I'll show you guys here. This is for a G15 hybrid, right-handed. So the face comes in here, another top goes on top of that, and then we slide it in here so the shaft's popping up, and we can adjust it. Really important. It doesn't damage the head, doesn't scar the heads. It's a lot like dental tooling, and most of the companies out here have that too. We've got weights that we use in different iron heads, so that's what these are. This truck's only 3 weeks old, so we're still getting everything set up, but we've got a few weights in here, and that's something that we can do to adjust swing weight. Enough with the woods. This is probably something this is one of the most things we're proud of. Our engineers in-house designed this. It's something we only have, but this is how we do our loft and lie in our clubs. we mentioned about this Mitchell machine. That's how most people do it. What we do is we'll take this, for example, this is our new I-15 iron. We'll program in what we want the specs to be. In this case, this is a club that's 1.25 inches long. It's white color code, and this is an 8 iron that I've got in my hand, so we've programmed all that already in here. An 1.25 inches is not a very popular length, but just for the sake of this club, that's what we've got. Put this up to the face. There's a couple magnets up here, and inside here, let me show you this. If you can look inside there, there is a camera. You can see that?
Yep.
And the camera will measure the loft and the lie based on that white groove. So we put this in here, pop it down back in here, and it tells us that it was good. And let me go back down here. So that tells us that the loft of that is 38.1. Our target was 38.0, so it's off 0.1, which is nothing. And the lie is 64.2. The target was 64.1. So it's really, really precise. And sometimes, you know, it can be 0.1, can almost be too precise, but it's great. We've actually had a lot of companies come in here and ask us to measure their clubs on this just because it's so good. So that's how we do it. Let's say this club was off. We bend clubs a little differently than everyone else as well. We put it here in these coffee jaws. We hit that, and then Daniel will take this very sophisticated tool, which is a rubber mallet, and he'll either bang it this way or bang it that way, depending on if it needs to go upright or flat. And then if we need to bend the loft, we just take this, either pull on it or push on it, and that bends the lie, or the loft, excuse me. So lie this way, loft that way. Okay, that's a little bit different. We use this instead of slow bending it with the Mitchell machine, like a bar that like this bar that you use for a Mitchell machine, because metal has a memory. We use 17-4 stainless steel. It's a little bit firmer than most, and what it does is basically shocks the metal so it won't remember where it was, and it'll keep its place. And all of our clubs are adjustable. The other thing that we do maybe a little differently than most is how we grip clubs. This machine's unique to the industry as well. Puts the club at basically an angle. Yeah, no problem. An angle where we have that. We have all kinds of different grips. You know, there's drawer fulls of grips here. So you know, depending on what the player wants. This is our newest grip, a ping grip. But we have grips for Hunter Mahan. We have grips for Lee Westwood. We have grips for Kevin Sutherland. You know, the list goes on and on and on. So we'll take a grip. This is roughly the length of the grip. We'll take it. We don't use the 2-inch tape. We spiral everything. We'll take it here, start it, and just spiral the tape. And we do every club like that, in-house or out-house. Come down here, pull it off, and wrap it around like that, and there you go. We spiral it because if you use a 2-inch tape, you can build up a rib, an unnatural rib in the back of the club, and we don't like to do that. And this way, there's no rib, no wrinkles, no anything. And from there, we grip clubs just like everybody else. You come down here, that's locked tight there. We grab the grip, grab some solution, throw it on just like everybody else. Okay. That's pretty much what we have in here. We do this on a daily basis. Other than that, we've got custom hats for all our players. They might have their name on them. They might have a different size head, whatever it may be. So we want to make sure that all these guys that are wearing a hat for a living are really comfortable with the hat. It looks good, and that you can see it on TV. And then everything that we do is it's a custom build, just like we do at Ping. We don't really use any different heads that you can't buy. So that's one of the neat things about this company is what these guys are playing is what you buy. And the great thing is you can get fit just like they do. The only difference maybe is that we build it here on site in 20 minutes, whereas it maybe takes 2 or 3 days to get to you.